welcome back to the channel again. We're going to see what we can find today in terms of properties and land and things for sale, basically. But we talk about some other subjects while we're driving about. So my friend here is going to ask some questions he's compiled, and we're going to just discuss that while we're driving about and filming. And then if we find something interesting, we'll focus on that and then come back to the questions a bit later. We've literally just driven up the road from where I live a bit and taken a road into the hills, and we're going to see what we find.
Alright, so why you choose Romania over England? Can I say England? United Kingdom?
England, yeah.
England,
yeah, because I'm English.
Yeah.
As opposed to British. Well, I mean, I'm British because I've got a British passport, but I'm actually English. But that's what that actually means these days is a debatable subject. Anyway, that's a different subject. So why did I move here?
So yeah, why you choose Romania over England? Because, for example, lots of Romanian young people are looking up to move in England. And what would be your advice, if I can say
so,
to them?
Why do they move to England? Why do you think they leave and move to England?
Yeah, exactly.
No, no, I'm asking you. Why do they move to England, in your opinion?
Oh, in my opinion.
Why are all these young people, so desperate to leave Romania and move to England?
Because of the jobs. The standard jobs are badly paid here.
Yeah. So basically, they get paid decent money, and they can have a reasonable standard of living on a normal salary, something like that.
Yes.
How many of those people do you think send money back here and build something back here and then come back, or plan to come back in sort of a 5, 10, 15 year time frame? How many do you think leave with that in mind, and how many just want to get out of here and stay abroad permanently?
From what I've seen from my friends, most of them are leaving with the thought to make some money and come back here.
Yeah.
But I think 50% of them are making a life there and not coming back, actually.
So half and half, something like that, you reckon is what it is?
Yeah.
So you can't see this. Go back up a bit.
Is someone building here something?
Yeah, well, someone's dug a foundation there. I'll try. I don't know if I can get it in the shot. Hang on. We need to get a way of turning that camera around.
Yeah, I can just take it out of there and record.
Oh, it's okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so someone, I'm going to try and stick the nose in here. Yeah, you can see that now. Someone's recently been digging here with an excavator, so maybe planning to build something. That's done very recently. So, and there's a lot here with a fence around it. So someone's doing something up here, but I think how close are we to getting down the other side? Oh, not halfway yet. Interesting.
So once again,
oh yeah, so
why did you choose Romania?
Yeah, so well, kind of a whole bunch of reasons. I was very, very bored in England. I found England claustrophobic and not very free, in a way that's quite hard to define. But after the last year, it's fully clear to me now. Why I felt like that. People are much more relaxed about just about everything out here, and the pace of life is different, and it's very cheap as well. So if you've got some knowledge and the ability to make money, your money goes a lot further here. So that's a big thing. The cost of property and land, I got a nice house with a big garden that I've gradually worked on renovating, and I got it for peanuts compared with what something similar would cost in the UK, and I bought it outright, because when I bought it a long time ago, it wasn't such a stretch to do it in cash, whereas everything in England is so expensive property wise. You have to have a mortgage. You don't really have a choice, unless you're pretty rich. So I've always liked the idea of just buying a house and building bits on it, or extending it, or just, you know, buying something and refurbishing it and ending up owning it outright, so I don't have a mortgage around my neck for the next 25-30 years, which of course you've got no guarantee you're going to be able to pay off, because people's circumstances change. And imagine how many people in the last year, because the government just decided to lock everything down, you know, without consulting the people, they just decided to do it arbitrarily. Imagine what that's done to people's incomes. All those people who couldn't afford to pay their mortgages have lost their houses, or will lose their houses. What was the next question? Something about financial independence, you said, or something?
Yeah, so I was about to ask you how important you think it is to be financially independent.
What do you mean by that? Like not having a job?
Not having a job, or having multiple sources of income, so you're not, you know, forced to do something in order to get some money.
Yeah, well, no one forces you to do anything. But I know what you mean. You mean not having to work a Mac job, as they call it, to just live week by week and never quite have enough money to pay your bills, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say it's super important, probably one of the most important things. The problem is there's a lot of people out there selling all this crap about how you can, you know, have all this passive income and stuff, and it's all crap, really. I mean, you can certainly make some money by speculating on different things, but you know, the only way to have a consistent income that you control is to be doing something productive. You know, building something, making something, selling a product or a service, really. Property is a good thing as well. You know, property is always a good investment. The other thing about an income, right, of course, is if you can do anything to save money, it has the same effect, right? People don't think about this. They think about how can I earn more money so I can buy more things or pay more bills and stuff. Of course, saving money and being frugal has exactly the same effect as earning money. This is really quite off-road here, isn't it? Yeah. Well, this one's another not much up here kind of road. Yeah, maybe we should try some of those roads that have got, you know, look like they've got some houses on them from the satellite pictures, because we're just heading into the woods again now. So anyway, back onto your question. Yeah, it's really important. Your best investment you can make is in knowledge and contacts. Everything is about knowledge and contacts. I think it's always really important to be honest with yourself as to what your abilities are, and work out what you enjoy doing, and try and do something that you enjoy doing that makes money. Because, oh wow, didn't expect to find that up here.
Yeah, so we actually find something.
We found something. This is, I'm just gonna try and turn around in these guys' yard, not yard, their front entrance, just to put the camera here quickly.
Looks like they are doing a living from.
Yeah, this is like someone just like running a homestead here. These guys have got lots and lots of beehives. Look, loads of beehives. We have to come up here and try and speak to them and buy some honey, maybe. So for sure, these are people you can buy honey off directly. That's pretty good. That's pretty remote. I don't know how they. I guess in the winter when this has got like is under a metre of snow up here, I'm guessing they're staying there.
There is a guy up there. We could talk to him.
Oh, he's out with the bees. Yeah,
yeah.
You saw him, yeah.
He's suspiciously looking on us.
I would imagine he is. I'd be suspicious. Well, they've got a lot of beehives. That's nuts. They've probably got about 200 beehives there. Where did I get to? Do you remember? Oh yeah, doing what you love. So yeah. It's really important to, in my opinion, to try and find something you can make money out of that you feel really good about. Because, you know, even if you're not going to get rich from it, as long as you can pay your bills and save a bit, and you know, build your own house or gradually build up your own house. You know, buy something you can just get away with living in and then add to it year by year. I think Romanians, from what I saw, are very keen about property ownership and owning their own house. I can't think why that might be. Maybe it was the 45 years of communism that did that. But people like to own their own properties here, and also because you don't have really tough planning regulations yet, you can buy something small and tidy up, renovate it, whatever, and you know, you could, with the money you spend on the deposit on a property in the UK, you can buy something and live in it, and it's yours, and you feel very good about having something that's actually yours and not belonging to the bank.
Yeah, but what if you don't if you can't own anything, like let's say for the next few years, or maybe
what do I think about renting property?
What do you think about living with a rent rather than having a mortgage? That was my
question. I see. Yeah, tricky one. Depends. You'd have to look at that on a case-by-case basis. It depends on pros and cons, doesn't it? You know, if you've got a cheap rent and a great job and you're saving the money to buy something, then it makes perfect sense. That's interesting. I wonder if that's for sale. Look at that. There's a little house up there. You could ask the honey guy if he's got. We can buy some honey, and if he knows about anything up here, we can buy in terms of property. Say you're looking for a house, like you're remote. You know, you're pissed off with other human beings, and you want to live in the woods. So we're interrupting this program to bring you some interesting news that we just discovered this really interesting guy with a lot of bees, and he lives up here in the hills. He's actually, again, not very far from where I personally live. They don't have electricity or internet up here. I think he said he had a generator, but doesn't have mobile phone signal. And like, it was kind of funny because he was saying how his friends take the mick with him about you know, how he lives up here with no internet and no phone. But he said he's lived here all his life and he loves it. There was actually a village up here as well, which should give you an idea of what's happened with the depopulation in the countryside, you know. So what is really cool is that he said he will help us look for some deals. So that's actually really handy, because that means we don't need to trek around in different areas. We can just focus up here for a while, which is what we'll probably do with the next videos, because he's actually said he'll find us some stuff for sale and get some prices, and you know, we'll get some details and things, so that'll be good content for a number of videos. Another interesting thing that came up, I'm like personally, because obviously, you know, anybody in their right mind is worried about inflation at the moment. Something I didn't realise that these guys said is that you can store what they said, they're storing their honey and waiting for the market. So what they do, they wait for a bad bee year, whatever that is, bad honey year, and then they sell all their honey when the market's high, which I thought was pretty, you know, don't ever underestimate people who live in the countryside out here. They might not have done university, but they have a load of other skills and a load of other useful stuff that they know. You'd be much better around people like this in any kind of survival situation, because that's just how they live, right? Anyway, the point was, the long and short it was it sounds like honey is actually quite a good currency hedge, because you can store it and it's reasonably high value. So I'm going to actually look at that and see if that's at all practical to do that. Oh yeah, another thing that I mentioned to the chat was about the bees dying out, because I've heard all over the, you know, I think everybody's heard about these stories in the mainstream media about the bees dying out in all other parts of the world. And he said, yeah, absolutely true, but it doesn't affect them in the woods here, because he said this is absolutely caused by pesticides on commercial agricultural crops, which I found was interesting, because you know, I might be wrong, but from what I understand about that whole debate about the bees is that it's a debate. There's nothing sure about it. There's some speculation that it might be pesticides, but that's probably because these huge agricultural companies have, you know, what amount to propaganda arms that spin the story the way that suits them. But what this guy basically said is they have no issue with the bees out here at all, because they're in the middle of the woods and there's no crops around here that have got pesticides on them, which I found quite an interesting little story. So anyway, we were driving about sort of randomly and made this amazing discovery of this guy with all this house with all these beehives. We had quite a good chat with him, and pretty interesting thing, made the whole day worth it, to be honest, because we were driving up some of those roads and it was looking a bit doubtful as we'd find anything interesting, and then we found this amazing bee guy. So he's going to he basically said that there'd been a number of houses up there. It was the same story as the other place, actually. We mentioned in the other video that there was a community up there, 5, 6, 7 houses, and they've all left over the years, and there's only a few of them living up there now. So kind of sad, but also kind of interesting, because it's he knows all the locals around there and what houses are empty, what might be for sale. So we're going to try and find some examples of land and houses for sale. And the other thing which was really interesting, I mentioned earlier, if you may have missed it or not in the video, but it seems that natural honey you can store for a very long time. I mean, at least tens of years, if not longer. I had no idea about this. So he was saying that he sells this when the market's high and stores it the rest of the time, which made me think this is actually a very interesting currency hedge. So with the situation with all the money being printed at the moment and people looking at things practical things they can buy that they can use and they can trade and barter and whatever, just in case there is a catastrophic fiat money failure or hyperinflation or just a big inflation, things like this are interesting. So I'm going to actually look at that, because it's quite an interesting thing. The honey we got, one of these honeys is based on the bees go on a particular plant. I can't remember the name of it in English, and the other ones are just bees that go on all sorts of different wildflowers. So the textures and tastes are pretty different, but they both taste amazing compared with what you get out of a jar from a commercial company. Anyway, that's it for now, and we'll be back with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. Bye for now.